Well, good morning, everyone. You are reached Lamont Tyson. This is going to be my trading everyday video on one of my old channels that is now just going to be strictly for stock trading. I'm doing these videos live trading every day as a means to not only show how I trade, but possibly help those who are just getting themselves feet wet in trading. And I trade with the institutes. I don't try to fight them. I try to figure out where they're at and trade with them. I like to use something called VWAP compression, 9 reclaim, and I'll do ORB. And I try to find out where the institutes are at pretty much by process of elimination from 5:30 in the morning all the way to 9:50. And I do that with relative volume. My method of getting into trades, because I don't like to have to read the level two, I try to make sure I can see who's more aggressively hitting buy and sell by reading the CVD. And so for me, in order to get into a trade, CVD most of the time needs to be positive, and you'll see it on my screen. I like to see volume return on whatever the green candle is I'm getting at either. If it's the second green candle, I like volume return to be 30% within 2 minutes or better. And if it's the third green candle for ultimate confirmation, I like to see that volume candle being at least 50% on the third candle. And so let me just give you guys a little bit of where I'm at and what I'm doing. So I started trading let me see, I've been in trading since 2020, but I was doing options. And then I started investing in other things, and some of those didn't work out. I needed income quicker. So last year, 2025, was my first year trading in Lightspeed account. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, I made a profit of $200 once you take out all the fees or whatever. And so I'm here now with Trade the Pool, and that's a long story how I got here, but I'm here. This is a pretty good prop trading firm, and I'm almost to the point where I'm at the evaluation and I'm getting paid. And you guys are going to see how I trade. If you like the way I trade, there's a link down in the video description right there where you can get Trade the Pool, and they give you 10 days free to just trade. Just learn their system, see how you do. And if you want to get a one-on-one with me to fully understand my whole system, there's the link right there. This is what you'll see when you get on the screen. And let's get to it. So today, the stocks I'm looking at, and something that'll help you newbies in trading, I track what's moving all day long. So what you're seeing is I'm tracking 2-year, 10-year, 30-year Bitcoin, dollar, CL gas, ES mini futures, NQs, and the VIX. The VIX is my barometer for how much trade and size I'm gonna do with stocks. If the VIX is -2 and lower, that's max size for me. If it's -2 or higher, I'm only doing 50%, and in some cases 25%. And then from there, all morning long, I track which stocks are beating SPY and NQ, because that's a good indicator of where the institutes might be at. And so today, what's beating SPY and NQ, all 3 times I checked, you've got AMD, you've got Micron, you've got Meta, and Meta had news today, but news and institutional names don't necessarily mean anything. CoreWeave beat it, Lam Research beat it, and let's see here. Yeah, that's it. Microsoft beat it. And so now let's go ahead and get to the charts. I've already got my chart up. So now I'm going to share my screen so we can get into it and get ready to see if we can make some good money on the day following the system. System is what counts, following the system. And I'm hoping at some point in time, one of these days, another reason why I am doing this channel is because I've not been able to find my squad in terms of who I can trade with, who trades the way I trade. You hear all these gurus online day to day, and it's hard to get up with them because they charge for their time, and that's fine. Make your money. But I'm in a situation where I'm going through divorce. I'm living on my own. I've got kids. The stress is high. My other YouTube channels and stuff like that have been on downcline revenues. By the way, if you want to join my other YouTube channels, please feel free. The link is in the description. I do a progressive political channel and a movie channel. So that's the link for my movie and TV review channel. And the link for my progressive politics channels is just simply my name, Lamont Tyson. All right, so let me see what we got here. Let me get closer to the screen. And what I do, my process elimination is I do not touch anything anymore before 9:45. I done been burned so many times. I'm not going to let that happen to me again. I've gotten my ass kicked at trying to trade prior to 9:45, and you don't really have to. You can wait to see where the institutes are going. Just let them get all these orders filled out, and then you take your move after you figure out where they're at. And so right now, I'm just looking at what was running. And I also have this technology right here called Trade Ideas, because my ultimate filter for where to be at is if a stock has a relative volume of 1.5 by 950, it gets on my list. And then from there, you've got to look at the technical to see if it fits your trading modality. And that's how you eliminate a lot of the noise. And for a lot of traders, the number one reason why you fail is because you don't know what stocks to pick based on however your system goes. So this helps me with my system. And even though you get this elimination, you still can be wrong. And it comes down to risk management. And you got to start keeping data on yourself. And I've been keeping good data on myself. And my system definitely works. It's just a matter of the issue I've been having is how to scale out properly to take the most profit. That's been my issue. And so right now, with Micron dropping like this, and it didn't have any push upward, I'm wondering how this thing will wind up working. Micron has been on a hot streak the last couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen. It has been hot. But in a minute at 9:40, I check relative volumes to see who's still in the system. At 9:40, I like to see relative volumes at 2.0 or better so that I can filter them down. And if you're paying attention to the orange and purple, so purple is pre-market highs and the orange is previous day highs. And those can become significant areas of resistance and support that you can use when you're trying to make an informed decision on a trade. And I've set all of those for my stocks that were beating the triple Qs and spot. And so these are going to be very boring YouTubes, but sometimes the most boringest YouTubes are the ones that can help you fulfill your destiny. The ones that are showing you Lamborghinis and never show you losses, that type of stuff, those are usually the ones that get you hurt. And so you're going to get boring, vanilla, Clark Howard, custard with me. And, vanilla is good. I like vanilla ice cream. I like snow bunnies. So yeah, you can get all that with me. And so far right now, I'm just looking. I'm not touching anything. I want to see what's going to make highs. I want to see what's going to make the opening range break 15 minutes. I also set a line for that. And the other criteria for me getting into stock is I like my RSI below 70 or at least at 70. And I like there be room to grow up. And I like a good ATR, average true range. I like that to be a decent percentage too, because institutes want to make money and they want to go where they can get the most money. If you've got a bigger ATR with room to grow, then hey, you've got something to work with. So right now, Microsoft is looking good. The only issue I would have with it is starting to run away from VWAP, which right now is close. That's not a big deal. And I'm not taking the trade anyway right now, so it don't matter. But we'll just see what it does. And the other thing I like to do with my trades, another confluence I have, I like my 9 EMA pointing up. That's what I like. Those are all the confluences I use to get into a trade. So now let's take a look at what is actually keeping pretty decent relative volume. So right now, AMD has a 2.13, which is great. Meta, Meta has a 4.34. Now, sometimes you got to be careful when these mega cap names get much higher than 3. Now, Meta did have news let me see what that chart is doing. So this could be a great play. So I've got my VWAP compression, and it's already set a decent highs. You know, this is probably preliminarily going to be a play, but it's just not time to jump in yet. Just not time to jump in yet. So Meta is on the list. Microsoft is on the list, but it's fading. Microsoft has a 1.98, which is fine for now, but I've got to see it around 950 before I make confirmation. Micron has fallen off the map from earlier. Let me see. Amazon has 1.66. That's probably not going to make it. SPY, I always keep SPY because SPY can become my safety valve. So SPY has a 2.67. And folks, I trade these because of the way they move. Like I tried doing small caps. Small caps is not for me one bit. So Google is on the list, but it's secondary because it didn't do anything this morning. So usually something that was making moves in the morning is something you keep your eye on because it might come back and make a win. I'll put NVIDIA on the list, even though it ain't doing nothing right now. It's just on the list because there's institutional footprints there. Micron, let's see, it's fallen to the bottom, but it's still on the list. And so this is a good primary candidate to just keep an eye on. Just keep an eye on it because it did that dump, but it probably will come back. So the only other thing that made my list this morning that I haven't checked is CoreWeave and Lam Research. So let's see here. And it looks like both of those are not going to make the list. Lam Research that's already off the list. And CoreWeave has, the other names are so strong, I'm just not even going to look at it. And this is tier 2. So CoreWeave is off the list. So as of right now, my list is AMD, 2.13 relative volume. Lam Research has been eliminated. Microsoft at 1.98. Micron at 3.31. Meta at 4.32. CoreWeave has been eliminated. SPY is on the list at 2.67. Google is on the list at 2.16. And NVIDIA is on the list at 2.07. And so now we come back. Now we let this thing get to the 15-minute ORB, and then I'll set my lines. And then we come back again at 9:50. And that's when you start preparing for what's left with 1.5 or better to take trades. And so we already know with it being so high, Meta is definitely going to be on the list for sure. And Micron is going to be on the list. Meta has news today, but news means absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen, with these names. I mean, it can help, but oftentimes you get screwed in the butt with an ugly stick just because it's got news. So we'll see what happens. And the other thing I'm constantly checking the VIX to see how volatility is going. And volatility has fallen a little bit from the 3s to 2.54. So that's kind of augments my risk. So I was initially thinking I was going to go in full bear, full shares. No longer going to be doing that. It's going to be at least half to a quarter because of that volatility index. And I will check it again in a minute. But so I'm ranking my top 5 list right now. And it's Meta, Micron, SPY, then Google, which didn't make my list this morning, and then AMD, and last but not least, NVIDIA. All right. So that's the pared down list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 names. And now I'm going to check the relative volumes in just a few minutes. And I pretty much have got everybody on the chart already. And wait a minute. Did I put Microsoft up here? Oh, Microsoft is last. Microsoft will be below NVIDIA. Okay, so 7. And that's going to get pared down in a minute. So now we go in and we mark the ORB highs, and then we wait for the best setup. All right, so ORB for this one, and my ORB is white. That's ORB there for that. Let's see. Meta's ORB is going to be boom, that. And the thing about Meta, I don't like trades where the spread is so deep. I generally don't like to take deep spreads, but because of where I'm at in my trading, and CoreWeave, you're off the list. So I'm going to change you to, all right. I'm going to change CoreWeave to, let's see here. I got Micron, I got Meta, I don't have SPY, I don't have Google up here. So I'm going to change CoreWeave to SPY. I love trading SPY because of the way it moves. It's clean usually, you can count on it. I didn't put all my previous day highs and all that on this one because I pretty much have a grasp of how it moves. So I will put the ORB right there and we'll see what happens. And then let's see here. I've got to bring up one for Google and NVIDIA. And I'm using TradingView if you want to know what chart I'm using and what setups I have up here. You can kind of see it. If you want to know like how I set my charts and all that, you can get a one-on-one with me. Link is in the description. So let me NVDA. All right, let's see. And it's not looking all that. They ain't looking all that pretty for the chip names for whatever the reason. So it probably is going to be, once we get back and check, it might be a Meta type of day, even though I hate the spreads on Meta, folks. I hate them. Meta has a huge spread, and I'm kind of a new trader. I don't like big spreads. I like to keep my spreads 15 cents or less. But, it is what it is. And I'm seeing a pattern with a lot of these today. A lot of these are dumping early, and contrary to what you may believe, you kind of want to see that because that means that there's probably going to be, as long as the day stays green, that means there's going to be opportunity later. And one thing you've got to do in trading is you've got to find your patience. You've got to figure out a way to calm down your little heart rates, because those little heart rates will get you doing stupid stuff, trying to chase FOMO. And I had to go through that a whole year. And I just showed you my Lightspeed account. Now, granted, I broke even basically, and I was up 250. It's nothing to brag about, 250 bucks. There was days on days on days where I would say to myself, no FOMO. And what I do, FOMO. Hell, I just had FOMO Friday and I took a $10 loss. And then if I would have just waited, the stock that I traded to win was Micron. And if I would have had my focus on Micron instead of trying to hurry up and jump into something, I would have been good to go. I would have been profitable without having a $10 loss. Now, the thing is, folks, you're going to lose. You just got to figure out how to lose quickly. And the name of this YouTube channel is Win Through Losing in Stocks, because a lot of all my winning has come because I've lost. And I would get in here and check data and cross-reference, and I was doing all kinds of stuff to figure out why I was losing. And that's kind of how I developed my playbook. And you could do the same thing too. And I developed my playbook using ChatGPT, which I wouldn't recommend them as much as I recommend Claude, but that's how I developed my system. I kept back testing. I got into this Trade the Pool account, and what I did was I just set up 3 or 4 different emails so that I could back test the stuff that I was learning. And then when I finally got comfortable, I started trading in my live account, and now I'm working toward trying to be profitable. And so it's almost 9:50, and there's no need to be breaking your neck, worried about what's going on, worried you're going to miss out on something, because folks, there's going to be an opportunity in the stock market almost every day. And there's nothing wrong with walking away and not trading. And I know when you have the pressure of you've got to make money, you got family situations, you got kids. I'm in the same boat. And I would even say mine is even worse, because these YouTube channels right now, even though normally they have been doing well and picking back up for me, as of recent, I've come into some stumbling blocks with people who are trying to copyright strike me, who have no business using the free news reports that I'm using. So I was doing really, really well with that. And then I just hit a roadblock, and hopefully my YouTube channels, or at least the political one, to come back in a couple of days after those strikes fall off. But yeah, if you need help in any of those things, you can, your boy's for hire. Thumbnails, SEO, stocks. I do a little bit of it all, and I've had success in all those areas. So just let me know. It is now time to take a look at what is doing well relative volume wise. So Meta is still holding a 2.96. Let me go down here and see what Micron is doing at the bottom of the list. Micron is still holding 2.5, so their institutes are still fooling around with that. Microsoft is holding, Microsoft's off the list. So no Microsoft, ladies and gentlemen, it is off the list. AMD is on the list, but it's barely there, but 5.2 I can work with. SPY is 1.78, so that's still on the list. Google is 1.66, still on the list, and NVIDIA is off the list. All right, and I will check this one more time at 10 a.m. So right now, my stock choices as of 9:52 are Meta, Micron, SPY, Google, and AMD. So NVIDIA is gone, Microsoft is gone. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how you pare down the best stocks to trade. And I will come back again at 10 o'clock and look one more time, because look, everything's still getting set up. There's no need to rush. The only one that would probably be a consideration for rushing is Meta. And I've told you, I'm really not that keen on Meta. SPY, yeah, you got plenty of time today. Plenty of time. There's no need to rush. 10 minutes is not going to do anything but show me confirmation. So I can wait till 10 to see who still has good relative volume, so I know where the institutes are at. But right now, I come in and I check the VIX. The VIX is holding strong at minus 2.2, which means for me, that's half my max to a quarter, and no exceptions there. And the NQs are dropping and ES is dropping. You want to keep a check on that too, because this could just be, the flush early, and then it's going to pick back up. But 0.18 and ES is 0.32. So I will come back again at 10 o'clock and redo all this stuff all over again. And that's when I quit checking. Well, I don't want to say I quit checking, but that's when I make my determination of which charts have the best technicals, have the best setups. And right now, everything that's left is okay. I mean, room to grow on everything. And yeah, room to grow everywhere. And right now, I would say Google is probably the best looking, but I don't like these topping tails, ladies and gentlemen. I do not like those topping tails. To me, that's like fighting resistance back up all across the way. SPY looks like it might wind up having the cleanest chart once it can start controlling VWAP again. And AMD might have a clean chart, but I do not like that topping tail. Meta probably is going to be the trade. It's got news. It's got the best relative volume, but we just got to be for sure. Now, let me see what the spread is on Meta right now. I hate these big spreads on Meta. Meta spread is, let's see, it's not bad. It's about 30 cents. That's not bad. I just don't like it, but it's not bad. Not bad. Not bad. And it looks like we've got support right around, support is all in this area right here. Let's see, the 132. And because a lot of these things like to do the whole dollar, half dollar, I would most likely set my stop, depending upon where I was to get in, probably at 132. Well, no, because it's going down below that. Let's see how it holds. 130. I would set it at 131 if I was to get in this thing. But right now, we're not getting into anything. We're just observing. And folks, observing is a good thing. It gives you a chance to see the data. It gives you a chance to see where the thing is setting up. I try to encourage everybody instead of just rushing right on in. This is not Russian roulette. Just take your time. Just honestly, just take your time. You don't have to rush and see how it goes. Somebody said what's up. So at something like MF 55295, what's up, friend? I just sent you a message back. And I am still watching and observing 4 more minutes until we get to 10, and that's when I'll do my last check. And you see, this is why you don't chase people, because all these things were looking great pre-market, looking great. And now you're going to have to patiently wait, which is fine. That's fine. You want to be patient. You want to wait. You want to get as much data as you possibly can. So do you guys understand why I named this channel Win Through Losing with Stocks? Because every loss, you can learn something about you, your system, how you trade, and patience. Just patience, patience, patience. And sometimes not even taking a trade is the best trade. So last week was a green week for me. I had one loss. One loss. I typically only trade one stock a day. I only make, at my max trades per day, maybe 3. That's it. And last week I traded one stock every day except for Friday. Friday I took an L. I quickly realized what my mistake was, and then I found the stock that I should have traded. So Google, wait a minute, was it Google? I forgot who I traded Friday. I'll go back and tell you in a second, because I chart and document all this stuff. But whoever it was, they didn't make my morning top 3, nor did they have, they had news. And so all the blood rushed to my little head, and I jumped in fast, which I should not have done that, and made a stupid mistake. Very, very stupid mistake. And because of that mistake, I lost $10. And $10 is not bad, but I didn't have to lose that. So I could have done better. That's all I'm saying. I could have done better. All right. I can check the relative volumes now, and nothing is going to affect it that much more after this point. So let's see. Microsoft, folks. Oh, I already done eliminated that one. So no need to check that. So Meta still has a 2.59, and it was one of my morning beaters. So that stays on the list. SPY has a 1.5, so obviously that stays on the list. And AMD, gone. So no AMD, ladies and gentlemen, even though it made it through the morning. No AMD, gone. Let's see here. Google, let's see what Google is doing. Google, off the list. I can't do nothing with 1.49, off the list. So now my list is down to Meta, SPY, and let's see what Micron is doing, even though it's way down here. Micron is still on the list, but you just got to, also being on the list, people, means you got to watch the technicals. So this is my final list for today. My top 3 to watch is number 1, Meta, number 2, Micron, and number 3, SPY. All right, so let's pare down this list, and let's just see which one is going to give me the setup to trade. That's it. That's how I pare it down. That's how I know where the whales are, or the institutes are, and that's how I take my trades. So right now, based on the way I like my charts to look, Meta is let me see. Yeah, Meta is definitely number 1. So move that to number 1 space. And between Micron is way down there. Both of those are way down there. But it's Micron, yeah, no. So the only one that has positive CVD, lots of room to go up, and it's closer to having a VWAP 9 bounce reclaim that I would like to see, is Meta. And even right now, Meta is dipping even further. So you just observe and see this has gone down below Friday's a low of day. And let's see what SPY is doing. I didn't mark up SPY because, like I said, I keep a record of SPY anyway. But now we're just waiting, folks, to just see what happens. And this other stuff you see on my screen, the S&P minis and the NQ minis, I watch those too because sometimes you'll notice that these institutional names are moved in step with what these are doing. And that's just more confluence to help you get in. And so now we just patiently wait. And VWAP, if you're new to trading, VWAP is kind of your barometer for what's fair value in the market. And so if you're a new trader, I would encourage you, don't take any trades below VWAP unless you've learned some system that you enjoy that works for you. I don't do it, but you can if you want to. And everybody's system is going to be kind of based on your experience and how you get to your system. As of right now, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm recording these for transparency. I'm hoping that one of these prop firms, SMB or the one Lance Breitenstein worked for, see my system and be like, you know what, we'll take this guy in and let him try on our desk as I can show what I'm doing and how I do it. But you guys just kind of see my process of elimination to know where I'm going to be trading. And of the stocks that beat the triple Qs and SPY this morning, 2 are still on my list. And they are my top 2 watches, Meta and Micron. Those 2, every time I look, were beating the triple Qs and SPY, beating it. And right now, it looks like Meta is going to be the choice, most likely, because it's closer to positive CVD. Micron is falling off the map. SPY has kind of fallen off the map too, but you guys can see this is like that second push for the morning where we've got the NQs about to go positive. The S&P minis is getting ready to come back up, and you can just watch these to see when you can possibly get in. Now, I've got Meta pulled up. And the thing about this, folks, is when you trade these names, you've got to have a lot of capital just to make any money. And with my trade to pool account, I've got 200,000, and to officially get paid, I've got to cross 12,000. And I took a bump backwards, being stupid, not listening and following my system. And every trader does it. It's just you start adhering to your system a lot better as you get through the process. But I did take a stupid bump backwards. And so I'm at 198,000 basically. I still got 14 grand to go. But anybody in stocks knows that you can eliminate that pretty quick. Doesn't take long. Just got to be, consistent with your method, your style, and hang in there. And so right now I'm just looking. No need to rush anything. Nothing is near VWAP. Let's see here. I zoom out to just kind of see where it looks like support is at. Support is somewhere, it looks to be around about 525 is support. That was this purple line for me is pre-market. And so about 525 is support. 536 is the pre-market high. Let me move that up a little bit because it's a little more than that. And you have a $1.72 ATR. So if the markets makers decide to make a move just based on the relevant volume, they'll probably be here because there's more money to be made once this thing starts going back up. And Micron, well, you've got $2 here, but it's got some ways to go to get back positive, and it might. SPY is steady Eddie, 75-cent ATR, which is cool. And let me go over here and check my VIX level. Okay, so VIX is still holding 2.6, minus 2.6, versus when I checked it a few minutes ago, it was 2.2. I like seeing the VIX drops. That usually means people are getting ready to start making their moves back. NQs have gone negative. ES is still holding strength. And I look at that because, if I decide to take a trade, you want to be in the strongest name in tech because of the NQs being negative. But with the ES still being positive, that would kind of push me to think more about taking a trade on SPY today. But we'll see. We're nowhere near me getting ready to take a trade because everything's ugly. And look at that. Meta is just continuously dumping. It has broken pre-market. So I'm not a guru. So I'm not even faking to pretend like I'm a guru. But today looks like it's going to be a day for the sellers. And if you zoom in, the sellers are now more aggressive than the buyers because CBD has gone negative. So, let me go back over here. Micron, sellers still got control of that one. And over here, when you go to SPY, sellers have control of this one too, but it's trying to curl back up. We'll see what happens. Typically, for me, I sit around till maybe 11:30, and then if I don't get anything, I don't get anything. And when you're under stress that you've got to make money, folks, it can really mess you up. And I am under that stress, but the way I'm trying to manage it is I'm trying to do all these things that entrepreneurs do that know that they have a future in trading. And I'm giving plasma, I'm doing Uber, DoorDash. I'm selling my system to people that want to do one-on-ones with me. I'm selling my services and how to build up your YouTube channels. I've got one YouTube channel that's 415,000. So I'm helping people do that. I'm helping do thumbnails. I'm editing. I'm doing everything I can to protect my trading time. That's essential because I know what trading can do for me long term. I know my system works. It's just a matter of doing it. And I keep a track of everything. Let me pull this down real quick. Let me pull this down real quick and let me show you guys this. Let me see. Let me make sure you guys can see it first. Okay, yeah, you can see it, but you can't see the other thing. But let me pull it up. Pull that on the screen. So this is me keeping up with everything. These are my screen shares from January. This is what I made on Trade the Pool in January. A couple of days. I didn't track every day then, but I started seriously tracking and the reason I didn't track it is because Trade the Pool has a dashboard where they show you your trajectory, and I'll pull that up in a minute. Let me see. Get in here. There's all my trades for January on Trade the Pool. And then I did it on February. There are all my trades for February. And then I've got March. And with March, I started organizing things into weekly. So that's what I made week 1 in March. That's what I made week 2, week 3. And that's what I made last week. And last week, I started putting them in videos instead of screen shares. So, folks, you just, keep up with your stuff. Like, find a way so that you can go back, watch your own data. If you don't have a squad, like I don't have a squad, start being your own squad, and you'll be surprised what can happen. Like right now on this live stream, nobody's watching. It's just me talking. But at the end of the day, when I try to apply for one of these prop firms, I can have them turn here and see what I've been doing each and every day. Each and every day. And now we're just being patient, waiting for this turnaround. And let's see here. The 9 EMA on both the S&P and NQ is starting to go the direction I want it to go. Meta is trying to make a comeback. Now, for me, I'm very careful about trading below VWAP. Very careful, especially when something is this deep into CVD negative territory. I'm very careful. But a lot of people have no qualms about trading it when it's that deep. For me, I still wait for the 9 EMA to turn up, not sideways, definitely not down. I want confirmation, so I wait for it to go up. And right now, Micron is turning up, but I'm not taking it right now. I still need to see another candle before I take it. Meta hasn't turned up yet, but it's closer to positive CVD than Micron. Still not taking it yet. Micron, I think, is probably going to be the trade. It's got the most room to grow. And let me go and see what's going on with the NQs. NQ wise, VIX is still VIX is starting to turn. I love that. NQs is coming back. Love that too. Micron looks like, let me pull it over. It's got a lot of support in that area. Looks like Micron could be a thing. Now, you can't play around with these when they're below VWAP. You just can't play around with them. And normally my rule, I try not to mess with it because sometimes VWAP folks can become your resistance point. I tend to like to get it once it shows it can hold VWAP, because then VWAP can become your stop. Now, right now is looking pretty decent. Before I get into a stop, what I do is I like to make sure that I'm on the second candle or third candle that's green. And that if it's the second candle, I want to see this number right here, volume percentage. That's basically the volume percentage of the previous candle. I want to see this number within 2 minutes hitting 30% if it's the second candle. If it's the third candle, I want to see this number hitting 50% or better if it's the third candle. And then I just ride it. But sometimes that third candle gets me too far from VWAP, which is my absolute jump out the window. And just keeping an eye on it. Maybe it'll be Meta. Maybe it'll be Meta. We'll see. We're just observing right now, seeing what goes and, seeing what happens around VWAP. That's all we're doing. Just being patient. Just being patient. And this is almost turning back into a max trade day for me based on what the VIX is doing. And yeah, the VIX is at a point where, they're very comfortable. Risk on day. Normally -4 or better is my max. But, here is definitely half shares to max. And, the 3 that made our process of elimination all look like they're making that second win. And it is 10, 13. So this is a good place to be at. And I haven't done, let me go back in here and check. Micron still has a great, very, very good relative volume. Of course, Meta still's got great relative volume. And SPY, SPY is okay. Like, by noon, you don't take anything that has less than 1.2, period, by noon. And so SPY could still be a trade, but why make SPY the trade today when the NQs have come back? They both have come back. And the 2 stocks that I have left that are tech names, both, each time I checked in pre-market, 5:30, 7:30, 9 a.m., both were beating SPY and NQ and the Qs. And so if I had to go with one, I'm thinking it's going to be Meta. And this next candle with Meta, I'm just going to see what it does. And folks, with Meta, I'm only taking 150 shares just because of how big it is. Micron, I can do more shares, but Meta, I think, is the play. And, I'm ready. When Meta shows me it's ready for me to jump in, when the institutes have said, Lamont Tyson, we are in this thing for sure, that's when I'm jumping in. But right now, I'm just being patient, seeing how candles respond around VWAP, and taking my time. Now, sometimes when you start learning stocks and you start understanding what days look like, this morning was looking like one of those days where your little wee-wee gets erect. because the VIX was fitting my numbers. I had several stocks that was beating NQ and SPY. Um, gas was doing its thing. A lot of confluences looked like they were going my way. But then you always get hit with the reality. When the market opens, it could all do something different. And that's exactly what happened. It went to hell in a handbasket for my system. Now, if you're doing small caps, you might already done made $20,000 today. I tried small caps. I learned the one person that I did take a lot of learning from was Ross Cameron, and he trades small caps. I tried small caps and I lost more than I won. And through losing, I won to tell me to go back to what I'm used to, which is mega caps. And I'm not used to mega caps in terms of quote unquote day trading. I'm used to mega caps because when I did options in 2020, all the way through basically when I went official full time trading in 24, the end of 24, and I got my hip surgery, it was all mega caps. Like I'm familiar with how they move. I know that they have big ranges, and I try to fight it because it seems like the money in the money in small caps seems like it's so fast, and it is. But you got to be fast on your trigger. I mean, you got to be fast on the trigger, and you got to keep getting in as it makes higher highs. And that just didn't quite resonate with me back then. Maybe I could go back and try it now because I don't short either. I'm not a person who likes to short, and that's probably costing me money because these relative volumes, knowing where the institutes are, can help you with that too, and knowing where the institutes aren't located can help you with that too. And I just haven't got to the point where I'm ready to do that yet. I haven't made enough money going longs, and so we'll see about that one day. But what I like to trade, Meta is giving it to me. I like to trade VWAP compression 9 reclaim. And this is setting up to be a pretty cute cup handle with Meta, possibly even Micron too, but Micron just doesn't seem to have the strength Meta has, nor is the relative volume there with it either. And let's just go and see what's going on. VIX. Q still holding strength. VIX still holding kind of strength that I like, -3. Even if I take a trade on Meta, it's only going to be for 150 shares. That's it. That's it. And that's, I think, max shares I can do on Meta anyway is like 250, and I'm not doing that. And some people would be like, well, why don't you just go ahead and push it? I'm training my brain for risk. Just training it. Training the brain for risk. And so do you all see why I just didn't take that second green candle going back up? Because those topping tails is kind of like resistance around VWAP. That's why I was just saying sometimes VWAP can become resistance. And it hasn't broken VWAP just yet. And even when it does break VWAP, I would want to see it hold VWAP before I take a trade. So I'm just watching. And it seems like support is trying to stair-step its way up. Seems like its support is building right here where the 9 EMA, whoa. Okay, well, never mind on that theory. Never mind on that one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just wait. That's why I say the market is its own thing. When you think it's going to do one thing, it'll show you something else, and just be very, very patient. Very, very patient. But I mean, I feel in my heart it's going to be Meta. And if this candle right here breaks VWAP, I'm going to see what this next candle does, because now it's a new 5-minute period. 9 EMA is curling up. I might take a trade here and just set my stop just below. So yeah, I will take a trade. Let me just see how much volume returns before I do it. And then I'll go ahead and take this trade. This is probably about the safest position I could be in. I'm right there near positive CVD. The cup handle is still going up. 9 EMA is curling up. Volume, I need to see volume percentage hit 30% in 2 minutes. And then before I officially hit the buy button, I want my CBD to be green too. All right, so volume is definitely going to hit it because we're already 1 minute in and we're at 22. So I feel pretty confident taking this trade, and I am going to take this trade. CBD is green. We've got plenty of room to grow up. I am hitting the buy button right. Uh-oh, I didn't hit it yet. And folks, this could just be the stock itself just trying to gain steam. I'm in now. I'm in at 532.67. I hate that damn field. So let me go ahead and get my candle. 532.6. I'll put it at 6.6. Let me bring it to right there. And let me change the color to green. All right, so that's where I'm in. I'm in at 532.67. And let me set a stop. Let me see here. 532 would be too far for my stop. So I'm going to set my stop 531.50, where you see that 9 curling up. Right now we've got a hold, so I'm going to set it about 531.25. That's a decent hold number. Turn that one red. All right, so now I'm going to set my stop at that level. Let me get to my stop button. What's that? 531. 531.25. Set my stop. All right, so I've got my stop set. And now I've got to practice scaling out with profit. So already I'm up 120, let's see, 143 bucks. So I'll scale out $100 in just a second and keep 50 running. So my issue, ladies and gentlemen, is that I've been struggling with letting the runners run because I've been burned so many times. I've gotten my butt handed to me so many times. I get scared and I don't want my runners to run. And so once you get in and get some profit, and then you can scale out a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. And so I've got my button ready to take 100 shares out because it's hard as hell to be profitable. But I feel like this is going to keep going up. So there's no point in getting out just yet. So I'm in with 150. I'm going to scale out 150 in just a minute, but there's no need to rush just yet. It's still doing its thing. CBD is still green. My button is on the trigger in case I need to get out. And it's still making a high. So boom, we're still going up. We're still going up. We're still going up. Keep on moving. Keep on trucking. All right, I'm up 150, so I'll take some profit now. All right, so I sold 100, so I got a little profit on the table. And so now all I've got left is 50 shares. And where do I put my stop? So now I would bring my stop up. So let me kill that other stop real quick, because on trade the pool, if you don't kill your stop, once you get out of everything, you'll still have that as a short. So anybody that's going to do that trade the pool demo, make sure you remember that. And so no need to fret. Not like, mentally, I took some profit. Now I can give this thing room to breathe. It's just a matter of setting my stop. Where do I want to set my stop now? I'm gonna bring my stop up to about, I'll say 132.50. So my new stop for my 50 shares, I'm gonna set it at 132.50. All right, and all right, it's there. 132.50. And it's a little above 132.50. It might stop me out. Yep, I done got stomped out already. because I set my stop just a little too low. But I mean, folks, I'm good. I won. I took a trade. I won, and now look, structure is breaking, and that's what you're trying to avoid. You see that 9 EMA flattening out? That's break of structure. But the thing with a runner is you want your runner to kind of be below the structure. So that's the failure I made. I should have kept my runner somewhere down here. Probably more so this range. But like I said, I'm not at a point where I'm making that much money where I feel comfortable doing that yet. But in order for me to get to the next level and like quit dilly dally, I've got to learn how to strategically place my runners in a position where they can go. Once you get that first initial profit that helps you mentally, then you've got to structure yourself to let those runners go. And so let me show you guys what I made. I basically I lost $10 on the 50 shares. So I basically made $80 today. So let me show you. So you see, that's my trade to pool. That was my 150 shares in, cost 75. I got in, I got green. I took out 100. So that was 92.25. And then I lost $10 on what I was letting ride for a minus $10 basically. I made $82 alone on this trade, which is fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, you know that you can pick a stock. I know that my process of elimination and my confluences work. What I've got to work on is trusting the runners, and I don't trust the runners the way I should. And I think that if I was talking to a coach, the coach would say, Lamont, you've got a pretty good process of elimination. Once you get in and get green, once you get in, you take some profit, you've got to let that runner do its thing. And they would probably scream at me and be like, you picked the right stock today. And you had no business putting such a high trail. Now, I haven't figured out on trade to pool yet just how to like trail like a dollar or 50 cents. But on a stock like Meta, trailing 50 cents is not going to cut it. And there's a formula you can do with ATR and all that, especially since I was already green. So you guys are seeing what my trauma is in real time. It's not picking the winning stock. That's not it. It's not picking the right time to get in. That's not it. My trauma is how do I start believing and trusting my runners? And the only way you do that, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to show up each and every day and work and work and work. And so, folks, that is my system for today. That's probably going to be all the trading I'm going to do for today. I'm fine with what I made. Could be more. And honestly, with Meta, I probably could get another trade because it's definitely going in the right direction. And right now, most likely what it's doing is doing like a spring. It's coiling up. It's just coiling up. And as a matter of fact, I'll keep this thing going and I will take another 100 share trade based on what it can do with VWAP. Because right now, I think that what the institutes are doing, they're just accumulating and it's about to coil right the hell back up. And if it does, your boy is going to be right here waiting on it with open arms. But let me just see what's going on. I'm always checking to see. VIX is still great, so they're still taking risks. NQs, yeah, it's flip-flopping, but obviously the best names where the people are today is in Meta. They're in Micron. These two aren't doing the damn thing right now anyway. And my window for trading is the morning. Clearly the leader in the NQs is Meta. That's the winner. That is the winner. And when you guys can there we go. There we go. That's why I should have held. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. That's why I should have held. And I wouldn't be having to try to jump back into the stock. I should have held. And we still got room to go back up to 537. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Now I just sit here and I patiently wait to see what the next candle is going to do. And this is why I have got to solve the riddle of trusting my runners. I put my stop just a little too high. If I would have kept my stop down here somewhere, I would have been good. I should have kept it at the whole number 532. I should have kept it there. But you live and you learn. You come and you show up each and every day. The important thing is my system works. Like, it shows me where to go. And my system is telling me that if this next candle, it'll be the second green candle in a row, can return within 2 minutes, 30% volume of this candle we're looking at, get in. And now I'll probably make my stop 132 and just see what happens. Just see what happens. I'm only doing 100 shares because I can only take max position on. I can only take max position on Meta. I think 300 shares anyway with what I've got. So we'll see. We'll just be patient and we'll see what the next candle brings us. And so as of right now, not going to trade Micron. So you're off the list. SPY, I'll leave it. So these would be my only two people that I would consider looking at the rest of the day. And then I'm always checking to see what this is doing. VIX is holding, Qs are holding, ES is holding, and a lot of that is probably because of Meta. So let's just see what this next candle gives us. Meta looks like it's trying to get back into positive CVD territory. And if it can, I'll get back in for a trade back up to pre-market highs, which technically pre-market highs is, let's see here, move this up. That's technically pre-market high, 536.77, which, basically just go ahead and say 537. That's technically pre-market high. And so at this point, I would just hold for that because I'm only getting in with 100 shares. I got in last time with 150. And this time when I get in and get green and I cut, I'm going to let it run for a little bit. I'm going to see if it can get back up to that pre-market high. But I usually, back in the day, I wouldn't get into this point anyway. And so it was dumb for me to set a stop on my trailing that low in the first place. It was dumb. Very dumb. But this is the winner for today, folks. This is definitely the winner. And you saw my whole process of how I got here. My issue is trusting my runners. That's it. Trust the runners. And when you've been burned as much as I've been burned just with holding shares in general, it becomes hard for you to trust damn near anything. But my system works. I just got to trust. And one thing I've had to start learning what to do to help with trusting is not look at the P&L. Look at structure. Don't look at the P&L. Look at the structure. Look at the structure. I've heard one guy say, fuck the P&L. Well, you can't really do that, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do that. But you got to trust your structure once you understand your process works. And, my process, it tends to work. It works. It's trusting it, trusting the runners. I hate losing money. Hate it. But you got to trust it. And so for not trusting, I've got to pay the penalty of, let's see here, spread is not bad, which is a good indicator. Spread is like 10, 15 cents. That's not bad. That's not bad at all on this name. And so now we've gone positive CVD, which is where I would like to be anyway. The 9 EMA is pointing up. We're past VWAP. This would be the second candle past VWAP, which is another good factor that I like. And we just need to see, can this thing get to 30% volume before we get to 1037? Some people would be itching to get in anyway, but I just need my confirmation. And I would wait for that CVD candle we're on right now to turn green. That's it. And I'm doing all this on a 5-minute chart, folks. And this time I would probably be holding this thing probably to the pre-market high of five. Shoot, I would take profit. You guys know I'm going to take profit before we get to 536 because we're at 534. So I would definitely be taking profit before then. And so right now we're already at volume return of 27, and we're getting a bottom tail on. We're at 31, and I'm taking the trade. I'm in at 533.97. Let me go ahead and mark that. 100 shares, 533. $97. So make that green. And I'm gonna set a stop. This time I'll set a stop just below VWAP. So it looks like support was right around in that area. 532. So I'll do 532.50. So let me set my stop at 532, not 50, but 45. 532.40.45. All right. I'm set. 532.45 is my stop. So let me move this up. 532.45. All right. So I'm in at 533.97, the green line. Let me get rid of my old green line. That's for my first trade. Get rid of that one. And I'm in right now with 100 shares. And this time, I'm going to let it get green. I'm going to pull some profit. And I'm going to trust this runner this time. I think. I think. If structure breaks, I'm going. Structure breaks, I'm going. That's the difference between getting profitable, staying profitable, structure. But this thing has room to run, folks. It's got room to run up to, at the very least, yeah, it can get to 530, 36 easy. It's got it. It's got the marker. Yeah, it's got room to grow. It's got room to grow. So now we're just patient. We're just going to manage the trade. We're going to keep watching. CVD has gone back to the buyers. We're making a new green CVD candle. And you know what? I'm actually going to try the trail button on this thing once I can get in and get green. Or you know what, folks? Just because of my schedule, I might just go ahead and leave. I might just take all my profit in one clean swoop. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. I've got to work on letting the runners run. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Unless this thing breaks structure now. If that 9 EMA flattens out, and then it's going to stomp me out. It's about to stomp me out. That's why you don't move. Yep, I'm stomped out. That's why you don't move your stops, ladies and gentlemen, because structure just broke. It completely broke. So let me see what my field history is. Let me pull it up. All right, so I was winning on the day, and because I got back in that trade, I'm losing now. And I'm cool with it. It's not a big loss. And that's pretty much going to do it for me today. I'm done. So that's my trade for today. So I lost, let's see here, 156 on that last trade. And I made that. And so, yeah, that's it, folks. I'm done. I could have went away, or this is what I could have done better. I could have set my stop further down. No thanks. I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm good. Like, I knew my system got me in the trade. I could have took all my profit here and would have been up 200 or something, but you know, I understand what happened. I took a second trade, structure broke, I'm good. And not only did structure break, but then it went down below CVD. I'm good, man. I'm good. Even though I desperately need to be making some money, desperately. I understand that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to win. And I could have won today, but I just took another trade. So let's just add up. Let's add up what I lost today, and then we'll shut this thing down so I can go do other work that's not going to help my future and just help me get through. So let's see here. My positive over here is I made 92.25, and then I got to subtract 0.75, subtract 9.75, subtract 0.75, subtract 156.75. Well, damn. Well, damn. On a great day like today, I lost. Let me show you what the calendar thing says. That's my loss for today, minus $75.75, fooling around on Meta when I should have had just left. And you want to talk about where things went wrong? Let me show you where things went wrong. First of all, since I'm live streaming, let me just take a screen share, put into my database so that I don't, so I can keep my calendar up to date. Let me take a screen share of this too. Boom. All right, so I got my screen shares. So sometimes, folks, when you get in and you get green, just walk away. Just walk away. Just walk away. And this is a prime example of it. Now, every confluence was there to get in. Every confluence was there. But just because your confluence is there doesn't always mean you're going to win it every single time. But you did see how my process of elimination helped me out. I got in, I got green, I got out. But that reversing is what scares me with letting runners run. But the thing is, with your runners, what you've got to do that I haven't done yet is set your runners to where at the very least you'll break even from your getting in and getting green. That's what you do. And I didn't do that today. And so, you know, it is what it is. But I'm not mad. I can come back again tomorrow knowing that my system get me to the right stop, and then it just becomes up to me to get the right opportunity. All right, crew, that's going to do it for this video. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get that life game. Again, if you are new to my channel, my name is Lamont Tyson. I trade stocks on a day-to-day basis, trying to get myself to one of these trading firms and prove to them that I know what I'm doing so that they can give me a bigger cash tilt so that I can trade these mega cap names I like to trade. So for example, today, if I was able to have traded Meta my first go around with $1,000, that would have been, 1,000 shares, that would have been $1,000 to me. I'd be out of here. I'm done. Like, I would shut it down for the day. But I'm not at a position to do that because I don't have enough shares. And so I'm trying to get around, trying to find me a crew. And by trying to find me a crew to trade with, maybe it'll make me do better. Because a crew might would have said, Lamont, call it a day, don't get back in. Or a crew might would have said, you need to set your stop further down, which I wouldn't have done because that would have been more losing. And I'm happy with losing $75 because I'm working within my system. If you want to get a one-on-one with me to completely learn my system, there's the link right there. Just go to Calendly and hit the link and you'll see this. You can get up with me. If you like progressive politics, this is my other channel. Come follow me there. And if you like me for movie and TV show reviews, come follow me here. And until that next Sectors Hell live stream, that will be tomorrow. Hope you made money. Win by losing in stocks. I'm out.